Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do some fall crafting. I already did in my previous video, if you've watched that one, I did those little tiny pumpkins, the stuffed pumpkins. And after I did those with all these little scraps, I decided I needed to do more things with these little scraps. So I think I want to do a garland with like pumpkins, leaves, acorns possibly. I do have a lot of these scraps. I went ahead and fanned them all out onto a table and so I could see every fall shade that I had, which I will insert clip somewhere here of me doing that. And then I went ahead and I blocked them all out, which again, clip somewhere here, that now I folded them all into different little bundles of what I patterned them as. So the next step that I want to do is I'm just going to go ahead and sew all of these together. I don't really have a rhyme or reason to how I'm going to sew them together. I am just going to take the scraps and sew them into a blocking, and then after which I will cut out my pattern onto it. I am going to bind the edges, so I'm not gonna hopefully have issues with the threads slipping. That will be kind of what we'll figure out. It's okay, we'll get it done. Anyway, I have drawn on here some patterns. I'm gonna cut these bad boys out. I kind of think this acorn is a little small, but what's life without a challenge, right? So we're gonna go with it. So that's my little tiny acorn. I just realized I did not allow seam allowance on this, so when I'm cutting, I will have to seam allowance. Otherwise my acorn will be itty bitty. Alright, and then I have a pumpkin on this one.
I'm laying the fabric out here from my little bundles and just sewing them together, like long sides with the long sides, and then just piecemealing them together to make them into a little squares.
Now in a perfect world, I probably should have pressed all of these where they have been sitting in a bag for who knows how many years. They are kind of wrinkled and kind of everywhere, but it'll be all right. Just finished sewing all of those scraps together. So this is what I ended up doing. They're just, you know, mishmash. Some are 2, some are 3, some are 4, some are 5. I don't know if I got 1 or 5. So anyway, that's what I've got. And then I did the acorns. I decided only to do 2 for the acorns, just because of, like, you know, the acorn lid and the acorns. So these are the ones I'm not going to do a lot of acorns, I think. So I only did like 4. This one I could probably get 2 out of. None of these are repeated, so they're all the fabric that I did 1 square with. It's not repeated again in any of these other ones. These are all different fabrics. Each one is going to be different. Don't judge me, I'm using a Sharpie.
I cut out another pattern where I didn't do seam allowance on this pattern on the brown paper, I cut out another one that had seam allowance on it because I know that I would forget to do it and then I would do it on some and not the other and mess it up. So I did another one.
Just trying to figure out which way I want them to be set up. As I'm not really worried about the direction of the fabric per se. It's more of, you know, how do I want it to look once they're done? Do I want this in the middle? Do I want it towards the bottom? I'm gonna go.
Just cutting out the pattern now, and I did not go back and lock stitch the seams here, so I did have trouble with the threads coming backwards and undoing themselves, and I really should have put them on the machine and did like a zigzag stitch around or bind the edges or something, but I did not, and I just had to be very mindful about how I was tugging on it and moving it so I wouldn't just open an entire seam through the process. I decided I really needed to give them a quick ironing. The acorns and the pumpkin pieces. I also went ahead and ironed the back panel, which is just an old brown sheet that I had. You were not really going to see that part, but it needed to be ironed anyway. It just made life easier when it goes ahead for putting all of the layers together. I put them all into a neat little pile so it's easier when I did the sewing on the machine that I could just grab each one that is next. Plus I just thought they were awful cute sitting in a cute little pile here. With the wrong sides together, I went around the outer edge of all of them. When it came to the corners, I just tried to leave my needle down so I could just turn the fabric and keep going down the side of the fabric. And I did this with all of the stems, the acorns, and the pumpkin pieces. I had to be really careful when I turned them right side out like I said, where I didn't lock those seams, they were starting to split on a couple of them. So it was kind of tricky doing this part. Now that I have all of my pieces all sewn together, and these are all my little pumpkin tops, and these are my little acorns, I'm going to put some batting in them. I don't think I'm going to put a lot in there. I don't want them to be poofy like a pillow. I want them to be more flat, but I want to be able to, when I do the stitches in them, either hand stitch or with the machine, I haven't decided yet. I want them to have like dimension to them, you know, so they look more 3D pumpkin, I suppose. So I'm going to stuff a couple of these and just try to figure out how much stuffing I actually need. I'll do that one. I just have to be really careful because where I cut these out, the thread is gonna, I'll let go, and then it's just gonna be a mess. So I'm gonna start on an easier one so I don't have to fight with that. And I didn't leave myself much of a hole here, so which is gonna be fine. But I just want, like I said, just a little bit, not a lot. Just enough so when I go in and put the other outer stitches on, it just has a little bit of dimension. Now, I should have probably pressed these again. I'm not sure, but we'll see once I kind of put some in and trial it out here. I've never made anything like this before, so I'm not really sure how exactly we're going to go about doing it. I know the process and like how to get there, but never actually experienced doing it. We're gonna need all of that actually. My original plan was to put them together and then bind to the edge. I think I might actually still bind the edge even though I did it more of a folding style and turned it inside out. So that's only a little handful of batting. That's kind of the effect I'm going for. It still has a little bit of poof on it, but not a heck of a lot. I'm gonna put a little bit more in. It's got kind of a lump in it now. Pumpkin number 1. A little bit of batting, not a heck of a lot. The edges, yeah, they're a little funky, but that's gonna all come out. We're not gonna really notice that once I'm done with it. So that'll be the first one. Put a little bit right on the bottom here, right here, there, and then this will be pinned, and I will hand sew that together with a ladder stitch, and then you won't even see it. It'll disappear. So that is the first of the 8. So we're just gonna go ahead and do one of these stems and then one of the little acorns, just so you can see what they'll all look like, and then I'll be back after I stuff all of them. I'll save you watching me do it all. Okay, so here is the little stem. Put a little stuffing in there. And each of these stems are going to be a little different. I cut them the same, but I really didn't pay too close attention on staying right with the line, so there is a little bit of diversity in it. And then the stem, I will, when I hand stitch that closed, I will hand stitch the stem in there as well. Get in there. All right. Doesn't want to go, but anyway, you get the idea. So this is exactly, so this is kind of how it's going to look. So, and then I'm going to hand stitch and stuff everything like on this as well. So this is 1 of 8. So that was that. And then we'll do one of these little acorns here. This just doesn't want to go in there, so we're gonna use a Sharpie here to see if we can get this in there.
we're going now. Here we are. Get that stuff in there. Yeah, when it comes to the acorns, I think I'm going to fill them up a little bit more. So these are more flat. I think I'm going to have these guys have a little bit more dimension just because why not? So I'm going to give this a little bit more in there. And then the same thing, I'm going to ladder stitch this closed at the end. So that flap will go in and it will be more like this itty bitty little pillow. And then I'm going to do hand stitch and some embroidery down on these to do like any detail and stuff like that. So that will be kind of what the acorns look like. The edges are a bit funky, a little square, a little messed up, but that's okay. It's all gonna come out at the end. We're not really going to notice it all. So again, what the little pumpkin will look like, the little acorns. So I'm going to go ahead and keep stuffing all of these together, and I will see you guys back when I am done. Here are all the pumpkins stuffed. I still have to sew on the stems, but here they all are stuffed, and our little acorns right here. That one I think is my favorite with the maple leaf, even though it's an oak acorn, but it has a maple leaf and I just think it's cute. I think that's my favorite. Okay, so here we are. Now I'm going to sew on the stems. I almost screwed this up. I don't want to use white. So what I was going to do is I'm going to actually sew around the outside edge of this because I want to do the embroidery part. But I don't want the thread to be seen. I almost did it all in white. That would have been a pain in the butt. My bad. Alright, so I'm going to take this out. And then I have to go find brown thread is going to be the best bet. Let's see here. I have yellow, I have white. Black would probably be alright with the bobbin, just because it's in the back. We're not going to really see it. And then I have red in here. So, but we'll do black. Put the white away. Everybody back in the box. Get in there. Oh, I took it all out. Now I messed it up. Alright, come on. Now. Get in. Everybody collaborate. We're going to share the space. Thank you. Alright. Oh, nope. You get in there too. Thank you. Alright. Let's put our bobbin in, and then we're going to go see if we can't find us some brown thread. Because that could have been a catastrophe. Alright. Bobbin in there. Get in there. All pieces within. Thank you. Right here. Black. Actually got dark purple. Not quite brown. But it might be good. Yeah, black. No. I think we're gonna have to go with dark purple. Really not too bad. Okay. Here is that you just blew snot on me. Alright, there's strings here. Don't worry about the strings. Here is the first going around the edge. Looks a little crude right this second, but that's okay. It's all gonna come out. I don't think I'm going to go around the edge on every single one of them. I'm going to do it on, I don't know. We'll find out. Because I wanted to have some diversity in how they all look. I don't want them to all be the same, and they all look different with them, but I want the embroidery to be different on each one as well. So each pumpkin garland piece is going to be an independent piece, not a cookie cutter of the last piece, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I really love this one. Look at this one. This one's so cute. But then again, it has that fabric in there that I like. So, alright. I'm going to do this one next, I think. I think I'm going to go around the edge on this one. Alright. I'm going to continue doing all of these, and I'll see you here in a little bit. Now I am embroidering just some designs that goes around the edges. So on the two that I went around in, I did this edge design. I did some zigzags in the pumpkins. There's two of each type with the same stitch, if that makes sense. So I spent quite a few days doing just embroidering. I'm not the best at embroidering. It's something that my grandmother taught me a long time ago, and I need a lot of practice at. But it worked great for this project when it comes to having kind of that rustic feel to the garland little pumpkins. After I embroidered all of the pumpkins, I am now putting the garland together. This is old twine that I have here. I'm using that as the string to hold the pumpkins. I took a piece and actually sewed the acorn, not going through the front layer, but just the back layer and some of the stuffing onto the piece of twine, and I knotted it so then it wouldn't slide out. And then I just knotted the embroidery thread right to it to hold it in place and tied it to the twine. Each of the pumpkins, I didn't sew them to the twine, I just looped the thread going around it, so depending on where they get hung, I can slide the pumpkins back and forth to add more spacing between them or add less spacing. I'm kind of making it a little bit more versatile in case I decide to hang it somewhere different. I can use it to fit the space that I'm hanging it. And then I went in my Oma's button box and I found some buttons. I got two of each type where I'll have two different garlands. I could have them be mirrored to each other. So I knotted the twine and then sewed the button to the twine itself using the knot as a stopper so it couldn't slide off. I just thought it added a really cute little element, and it uses up extra buttons. I added a total of 3 buttons on the garland itself, one with each acorn and then one hanging in the middle. I did not have an acorn to do in the middle. I only used 2 acorns per garland. I could have added a third one to one, but then it wouldn't have been a mirror image with the other one, so I just decided on doing the 2. So I'm doing the same process, just sewing the buttons on. These are some old garland leaves from when my husband and I got married a very long time ago. I have a whole box full and I've done different projects with them over the years, and I'm never quite sure what to do with them all because
I don't have big strands of them, I just have kind of pieces and parts of them all. So I thought it'd be really cute to put them into the garland. It just needed a little something extra and something to make it a little more fall feel. I'm just cutting off the pieces. I just wanted the leaves individually so I could glue them on here and there where I saw fit. The hot glue gun on low temperature to glue these onto the backs of the buttons. So I just finished the garland that I did with all the little scraps. I think it came out really good. I was a little hesitant on putting the leaves on it, but I have so many leaves from when my husband and I got married. We had a lot of leaf garland and I just have boxes of it. So I stuck it on there, and of course I have so many buttons from Oma's button box that is in a couple of the videos you've seen. So I stuck all the buttons on there, and that surprisingly came out really cute. So I was quite surprised, like I said, how cute it came out. I did put it up in my hallway, and then the one that I really like is on the back side, so that one's more of like in the dark area. You can't really see it, so the reveal is a little dark. There's no lights down in there except for on the other end of the hallway. But I'm really happy on how they came out. I thought it was a fantastic project. I'm really excited. I'm gonna do one, I think, for like Christmas theme, because I have, like I said, a lot of these scraps with all different themes. So I really am excited. I want to do a Christmas one next to put in the same spot. So that is the end of my video. If you like what I'm up to, go ahead and hit subscribe and hit like, and I will see you guys in the next one.